Hey friends, it's Marie here from Nicole Designs, and I am excited to share with you these Tim Holtz 3D Texture Fade Embossing folders. They are so gorgeous. We've got the Botanical one here, and I also have that wood grain one. I believe the name is Lumber. I'm actually going to be focusing more on this Botanical one today, and more than just building one card throughout today's video, I want to share a lot of different techniques you can do with embossing folders so that you can go ahead and play around with them in your own craft room. So I'm going to grab some paper here from scrapbook.com. This is double-sided paper. They have a darker and a lighter shade of the same color on each side of this paper, which I think is really fun and really pretty. But I want to share how you can emboss with these embossing folders, and by emboss I mean heat emboss. So you can do just the dry emboss, which gives you the texture on the paper, but you can also heat emboss. So I'm taking some embossing ink here and I'm just applying it to the raised side of this folder. So essentially your folder is going to be acting like a stamp. You're going to press that ink into the paper. Now I am going lightly with the ink. I want to give it enough pressure to get it on the raised parts, but I don't want to get it on the flat parts in between the design because I want to get a clean emboss, and really you just want to go over it lightly and that should be enough. Now, I'm using a Platinum 6 from Spellbinders to do my embossing, and I have found that using those plastic plates or even the embossing plate that comes with the Spellbinders is giving too much pressure because these folders are so thick. And I know those folders will give you instructions on how to use the Sizzix machine, but for my Platinum machine, I use the platform A on the bottom and I put the platform B over the folder, and that gives just enough pressure to do the embossing without tearing or breaking your paper. So I have run that through my Spellbinders and that ink is pressed into the design. So we're going to put some gold embossing powder on now. I'm just sprinkling it on so that it can stick into that ink and then tapping it off over a coffee filter so that I can catch all of that extra embossing powder and just put it back in that jar and not waste a bit so that I can use it on another project later. Now, this is actually going to be, I guess, double embossed since you have that dry embossing and you're embossing the heat embossing inside of the dry embossing. So it's just a really fun technique. You're going to get that gorgeous gold and the textured design when you finish this. So I'm grabbing a tool here. I'm just tapping the edges of my card, trying to get as much embossing powder off as possible. And if you want to clean up any of those areas, you are absolutely able and welcome to take a dry paintbrush and just brush off any of the embossing powder that is clinging to where it should not be. Now, I didn't do that for this background. I'm just kind of showing you different techniques so you can see here where some of that embossing powder clung to places outside of the design. It embossed onto my background, which isn't terrible. I mean, I think it still looks gorgeous, but if you want to clean it up and get a very crisp and clean embossed image, you can always brush that extra powder away with a paintbrush. So I'm using my heat tool here and I'm just going over all of the powder that's not melted to melt it, and I hope you can see on the camera how that powder is melting. I always think that heat embossing is like magic. It's so pretty when you're all done with it, and that gold embossing powder just shines and it really highlights the design of this embossing folder. So that's one technique that you can do with these embossing folders. Use them as a stamp on that embossing ink and get an embossed background. I did this several times already before the video, so I have different backgrounds on different colors of paper, and I think it's so gorgeous. Here's a few photos, or at least one right now, of a finished card on an idea how you can use that background. And we're going to move on to another technique. Now this one is pretty much kind of the same as the first one we just saw. You're using ink on this folder to use it as a stamp pretty much. I'm using some of the scrapbook.com white pigment ink and I am pressing it onto the embossing folder, and you can see here you can go ahead and sort of press that ink onto the folder, even like I'm doing, rub it around and get a really good inked image. The embossing design is raised quite a bit, so I didn't really get too much going in between the design. So I think this works really great when you want to stamp with inks and the embossing folders. Now again, once you got that inked up, go ahead and run it through your machine the way that it works best, and then you can just see how gorgeous this is when it is pressed into that background. Now again, I've already done a few backgrounds using this technique, and I've made a few cards. I really love when you can just cut out a shape in the center of one background and then use that shape again for a second card. It's kind of a 2-for-1 if you want to make several cards at once. All right, moving on. So we're going to do some more inking on our folder. This time I'm using colored ink just to show you the difference on pigment ink, on darker cardstock, and then I'm using some colored ink on a white cardstock, and it gives you some great impressions as well. I'm using some different colors here, and I'm being careful. I want to blend them together sort of where they meet, but I don't want to do too much because I don't want to contaminate my ink pads and get the different colors all over my ink pads. So just be careful of that. If you also don't want to cross the colors at all, you can get them close to each other, and then sometimes I just take a blending foam and just tap in between where those colors meet to kind of blend them together, and that works also. Once I had the color on this embossing folder, I did take just a spritz or two of water, not a lot. I didn't want it to run, but I wanted to moisten it a little bit so that I could run it through on this paper and it would really stick into the paper. So again, run it through your your die cutting machine. Like I mentioned in the beginning, I used platform A on the bottom, the folder, and then the platform B over it in my platinum die cutting machine, and you can see how it just presses that ink into the paper and looks gorgeous. Now you don't want to ignore the other side of these embossed images. So when you emboss, you have one side that's going to be depressed, which is what I've been doing the stamping with, and the other side that's going to be raised and embossed, which I'm showing you here. Now, if you don't want to put ink onto your folders, that's fine. I have found that the folder just wipes up, cleans up really easily. It doesn't stain or anything, so I have no problems putting ink on my folder. But if you want to add ink after you emboss, go ahead and use it on a you could do colored cardstock, but the white cardstock shows up the ink so much better. And I'm just taking some Distress Oxide inks here and blending it on over those raised designs, and you can see how that just shows up the design, and the ink looks so pretty on there. I used 3 colors, pretty much the same 3 colors that I used to stamp it, and I'm just blending those colors together on my background. And this is so pretty. You can go ahead and like sprinkle some shimmer watercolor or something over it if you wanted to give it splatters, or just some water, because we know that those distress inks do react with water. So there are other things you can do over this background, but I just wanted to share how you can use some ink over an embossed background to really bring out that design and make it stand out so much more. And I'm going with some bright colors here, but if you wanted to do some different colors, more muted colors, pastels, you absolutely can do that as well. Now when I'm ink blending, I do kind of like to go back over the colors several times and really get that blend going, where I'm changing colors in between and blend all those colors together until it's smooth. And if you find that it's not smoothing out, maybe give it a minute, because sometimes that ink has to soak into the paper and it will even out. And if that doesn't work, just go back and keep blending until you get it the way you want it. So here is that ink blended background. Again, that makes gorgeous cards. I just added some hearts and a simple sentiment over it, and boom, you have a fun card. Now this last technique that I want to show you is probably my favorite, because I think it's just it gives you a little bit more leeway for creativity, and it looks stunning when you're all finished. It's a little bit more time consuming though. So I'm taking some of that mixed media paper from Scrapbook, and I'm actually going to use these watercolor brush markers. Now, these are super pigmented. Like, the color in these markers are very vibrant, so you don't need a lot. I'm just putting some down in the areas where it's more of a shaded area. So at the bottom of this flower and in between the petals where it would be darkest, just a little bit there, and then you're going to grab your water brush and pull that color out. Now I found that these brush markers work really great with this mixed media paper. I am able to use my water and pull that color around and fill in and color. And this is a fun technique if you love coloring. You can take your time and go through all the design on this background and just color it in completely. Change up your color scheme. Right here I'm using a bright red, but I'll also show you a background that I colored using a different color scheme, using the Zig color brushes instead of the scrapbook ones, so you can use it with different mediums as well. And if you don't have watercolor brushes, you can try doing your Copic markers or alcohol markers. If you have those, I don't have any Copics, but you could try that, or even colored pencils. Just use that raised design to kind of be your guide for coloring with different coloring mediums. And it's really fun if you just like to sit down and color and take your time and really make this background unique. So I'm adding some green here to the stem and the leaves, and I'm not going to go through and color this whole background in today's video. I just wanted to give you the idea and see how it would be done if you wanted to go home and do this yourself. But I will give you a look at a few cards that I've already finished to give you some ideas on how to use these backgrounds on a full card. Now, the fun thing about these scrapbook water brush markers are they do have some glitter in them as well, so they kind of shimmer and shine after you're done using them. Now, here are the cards that I've done previously. Like I said, I went with a different color scheme. I did some orange flowers and some purplish and greenish leaves. I think it just turned out really great, and I love just popping those over some more backgrounds. One background here I did emboss the background with that same embossing folder. The other one I did some ink blending, and you can notice that I did cut out this design, so it's not a whole background, it's just kind of a focal point on the card. But if you're going to cut it apart, don't ignore the scrap pieces. I used some of those scrap pieces here to cut out those letters, and I think it just looks absolutely gorgeous. So thanks so much for watching. I'll give you another look at all the cards that we created today with these techniques. There's just so many things that you can do with these embossing folders. So please go ahead and play around with them, really get creative, see what you can come up with. I think they're really fun, really gorgeous. Now, if you haven't already, make sure you check out that description box below. I'll have links to all the things that I used. There's also that subscribe button if you haven't already. Give us a thumbs up if you liked this video, and tap that bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Otherwise, I hope you've got a lot of ideas to go ahead and get crafting, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. So thanks so much for coming by, everybody. I hope to see you next time. Bye.